I hope that you can actually hear me now. I don't know what's going on with my phone. For whatever reason, a lot of you guys are saying that you can't hear me. So I'm going to figure that out. Nevertheless, I wanted to have this conversation. We were just talking just a moment ago about distractions and confusion. Yesterday, we had that conversation. And today, I wanted to talk about staying focused. I ain't gonna over talk it. I'm just gonna be a couple minutes. And I wanted to, if I can, in this conversation, I want you to be able to think about what I'm saying because I believe it's going to help someone. Um, a lot of times when you are at a place in your life, in your consciousness, and you have a level of momentum that you're starting to feel, and now you're starting to play it out within a writing goals, or maybe you are writing a vision board, and so there are many different things that are starting to shift in your life. You know, yesterday we was talking about the distractions, right? How some distractions they're just kind of out of your control, right? And then we was talking about, in the midst of the distraction, you start losing the momentum because of confusion. And then once you have the spirit of confusion that has kind of indulged itself, you kind of lose the confidence that you once had before. And so today I want to talk about focus. I think that's important that when we are striving to be the best version of ourselves, I think it's necessary to start locking in mentally, emotionally, psychologically, right? And then you notice when you start doing those things, maybe the circle around you, or maybe the people that maybe they somewhat acquaintance or somewhat attached to you, and they're so used to you one way, but now you're trying to do something completely different. You're trying to produce something that is a new thing. Somebody say new thing, right? And so I believe it's so necessary to have this conversation because in the midst of life just lifing, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget to focus on um, what it is that the Lord has for us. And so I want us to understand. Hold on one second. You're loud and clear. Okay. I'm loud and clear. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, I think we have to focus on how to navigate ourselves with people who we respect, who we love, who are important to us, but yet they don't understand this new thing about you. And so, how do I stay focused when I am in a transition in my life and I'm trying to produce something that is bigger than myself? And how do I stay focused when the people I love don't want to accept the fact that I'm doing a new thing? And I believe the biggest thing that you have to learn to do is to still love people and still respect people, but you have to make sure that you stay focused. And sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice those relationships that you enjoy, that you have indulged yourself into with those individuals. You have to somewhat start really evaluating the relationship for what it is. And what you got to understand about people, there are some people who are for you. And then you have some people who are for what you are for, meaning that whatever you're doing that gets their attention, or maybe they are a part of your life because of what you're doing. And maybe it's beneficial for their life, or maybe they are enjoying it in that moment. And you have to be able to identify those type of people that are in your life. Because if you're not careful, you just put them all in one pot. And then you'll think everybody is your friend. And then you'll think everybody's for you. And then you'll think everybody is going to support you. But when it's really all said and done, you might have one or two that's going to rock with you. Am I making sense? I hope this is helping someone. And so the focus in your life should be to stay focused, and the necessary adjustments, don't regret those. You have to be able to look at the necessary adjustments to see how you can elevate in the midst of what's around you. Meaning that some people in that particular season, you might not have so much access to. You might have to fall back just a tad bit because maybe their vision on how they see you is not how you even look at yourself. And maybe how they see you, it doesn't align to what you're doing and where you're going. I hope I'm making sense. And so I think it's necessary to understand how to identify those individuals that are in your life. And you have to stay focused because at the end of the day, you have to be able to check in with yourself. And you have to be able to be real with yourself. We had a great conversation yesterday about distractions, and we had a great conversation about confusion. And so what allows you to get to a place to where you could be an overcomer over the confusion, over the distractions, is simply stand focused at the course. And so you have to be willing to make the necessary adjustments at all costs. And what do I mean at all costs? There's some people who are just not going to go with you and be for you. And you have to be able to live with that. You can't live in regret because people can't respect your boundaries, can't respect the new thing, can't respect the new conscious mind that you're developing. You have to be able to just say, hey, you know what? In this season, somebody say, in this season, we just going to have to fall back. Not because we're mad at one another. We're just in a season to where I need to fully develop, and maybe you can't develop with me in this moment. And that's okay as well. And so I recognize this for myself as the Lord continue working on me and to be the man that I need to be. I understand that I have to make some adjustments. Some people who I enjoy being around, some people who I love a good conversation with, some people who I enjoy going to dinner with, or some people who I just like talking about certain things that just really, really, really gets my attention. I have to be okay with just in this season, I need to stay focused. In this season, I need to be an individual that I've never been before. In this season, I'm going to make the sacrifice. Make somebody say sacrifice. You have to be willing to make sacrifices in your life. And you have to be willing to not be so attached to people to where you forget about self. Again, stay focused. And so part of staying focused is to be able to evaluate what is ahead of my life and what I'm doing currently in my season. And sometimes in your season, you have to really fall in love with yourself. It's nothing wrong with self-love. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. So part of staying focused is, again, presenting yourself as a living sacrifice before the Lord and before yourself. And then you have to ask the question, am I really developing? Because the way you can know if you're developing, others will see it in the manner of how you carry yourself, in the manner of how you conduct yourself. See, it's kind of like losing weight. You don't have to tell somebody that you're losing weight. They will see the results by the sacrifice in the work that you're putting in. Other words, the self-discipline and the development will have its own language. Think about that for a moment. Self-development will have its own language. It will speak for itself. New mindset, it has its own language. I want you to think about that. Sacrificing, willing to become the best version of yourself, has its own language. And so focus on Stand focused. Focus on how, when, and becoming. Why is that so important? It's because if I can begin to have this mind, this purpose-driven mindset, I now become a contribution to my community, to the world, to my family, and then I become a witness. That I become a living epistle of this discipline that the Lord has created for me, to where now I am walking with such a level of confidence. Hear me, someone. I'm walking with a level of confidence, all because I decided to have some boundaries, all because I decided to stay focused, all because I was willing to become a person that I've never been before. I hope this is helping someone, because it's helped me over the years to recognize and to realize that if I'm going to be me, for example, a better husband to my beautiful wife, I gotta start really developing in that department. I have to really start educating myself more. I have to really start studying my wife more. I have to really understand what I have before myself. I have to really start understanding the people who impacted my life and who I'm going to impact their life. And so I need to study my wife to be a better version as a husband to my beautiful wife. If I'm going to be a better parent, I have to start studying my kids, knowing what's healthy and what's unhealthy, knowing that the way I grew up, I can't necessarily try to throw on my kids. I have to present something new. And so it has to all make sense. It has to be it has to be an ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, this hybrid system, I'm able to pull from it. At any given moment, I'm able to be a student that's willing to learn. I'm able to be a teacher that's willing to give instructions. I hope I'm making sense, someone. And so I want, when you look at stand focused, look at it from a broad perspective. And to know that when I get into the mindset of stand focused, only what it can do is produce, but it can produce good fruit. And you'll see the fruit. It produces legacy. It produced good characteristics. It produced a good name that will outlive you. Stay focused, my people. I told you that we're on this quest. Please like, share, and comment, and share this content, because I believe if we could continue tapping into our greatness, there is no limitation to what the Lord has for us. And I'm excited to see what the Lord is going to do. I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't want to overtalk it. I just want to drop that into your conscious mind to know that if you stay focused, there's a lot of benefits to this lifestyle. All right, my people, I'm going to see you on the other side.